San Francisco. It calls to me, San Francisco. I gotta be back in Frisco, beside the sea, up and down. Chinatown, New York's pace, Chicago's grace. Great towns, but they can't replace the razzmatazz, Alcatraz, and all that jazz. Telegraph Hill, it fits the bill. Cable cars thrill, they thrill me still. Golden Gate Bridge, the bog rolling in. So if you find the need to explore all your dreams, look to San Francisco, my favorite town. Look to San Francisco, my favorite town.
Welcome to Great Chefs of San Francisco, a culinary guided tour with chefs from some of the finest restaurants in the Bay Area. This time from Berkeley, Santa Fe Bar and Grill and chef co-owner Jeremiah Tower. He is one of the city's most interviewed cooking personalities and has, among others, become synonymous with trendy California cuisine. Born in America, Chef Tower grew up in Europe and Australia, tagging along with his father, a businessman whose travels exposed Jeremiah to great food. He moved back to the U.S. and studied architecture at Harvard. Then, on the way to Hawaii, he made a fateful stopover in San Francisco. It introduced him to Alice Waters and her famed restaurant, Chez Panisse in Berkeley. Thus began a chefing career that has been sensational, if not orthodox.
I was down to my last, about $15. And someone said, a friend of mine, because they'd taken me to lunch at Chez Panisse, which was almost a year old at that time, sort of neighborhood cafe. And they said they were looking for a chef. So I hopped on the next bus, called Chez Panisse. I didn't know anybody there. And arrived there at 6 o'clock one evening. Walked into the kitchen and said, "Hi, I'm Jeremiah Tower, and I'm here for an interview." And they said, "Get the hell out." By that time, Alice had come down from upstairs. And she said, "Well, hello, how are you?" And I was telling her, "Fix the soup." So I tasted the soup, and it was the biggest pot of soup I've ever seen in my life. Tasted it, and it needed salt. I put some salt in. It was a little thin, so I put in some cream and stirred it all around, put a little pepper in. Maybe in those days I used to put white wine in soup, so I put in some white wine probably. And they tasted the soup and thought it was a miracle, and I got the job as chef.
Santa Fe Bar and Grill has become a hit in the Bay Area, as have two other operations that Chef Tower has run since leaving Chez Panisse. The menu for this program not only reflects Jeremiah Tower's cooking instincts, but capsulates the whole California movement.
The grill at Santa Fe is fueled with mesquite, common in Western cookery. Unless you are blessed with an unusual kitchen, you'll obviously have to deal with roast pork in a slightly less flamboyant manner.
Not everybody, no one, in fact, probably in their home has a big grill and spit like that. But on an electric spit, or if you have lots of children who can take turns turning it by hand, you can do one outside, and one could have done this meal at home in the summer on Labor Day or something like that at the last minute with very little work, because it's all advanced prep work, just finished off, except for the pig, which sits there of the coals, and the idea of something cooked on a spit that turns around in its own juices. You just have to baste it in the beginning so that the skin doesn't get burned, and so that it cooks very evenly. Once it starts, all the juices and the fat starts to come out of the animal, then it bastes itself. And as long as the fire isn't too high, you have no further work to do, except getting it off the spit and hacking it up. I should add, by the way, if the pig isn't cooked, just cut it up and then put it down on the flat grill. If they're pink bits, throw them on the grill for a second, they'll be fine. I have little zucchinis, gold and green.
Once again, note the remarkable array of fresh produce available to California restaurants.
Summer squash with their blossoms and baby French beans. These we're going to blanch, but these on a bed of fresh thyme, I'm going to put on the grill. garlics out. Let me just show this. Just cutting the leg. So you can see on the inside it was marinated fresh herbs, lime juice.
Chef Tower has earned the reputation for attracting enormous attention to his various restaurants. It has to do with not only an inventive menu and a flair for publicity, but an apparent genius for matching available fresh product with staff and customer expectation. His concerns may begin with the menu, but they end in profit and loss.
I used to go, everything had to be hot, cold, and terribly classical, and consommes, and that's all gone. I mean, to talk about the philosophy of food, I mean, I have to say that even in the Trois Gros kitchen, there were 23 cooks, and 19 of them were not paid. You know, so the payroll for a kitchen like a 3-star restaurant in France would be, oh God, I mean, the payroll, I mean, I know what my payroll is here, so I have to say that the monthly payroll for a 3-star restaurant in France would be $250,000. So in San Francisco today, or in New York today. Now that, of course, is totally impossible. Your lunch would cost you $100. I mean, a hamburger would cost $40. It'd have to cost $40. So you have to gear the food to what you can afford to do, what you can buy, what people want to eat.
It calls to me, San Francisco. I gotta be back in Frisco, beside the sea, up and down.